So today we're going to continue on systems of equations, and I'm going to focus on something called the elimination method. So if we want to eliminate one of our variables, we want it to go away or have a coefficient of 1. So let's say that you start with this first one, and I want to eliminate. You can either add or subtract them, but I think it is safest if you always add down. So we're just going to add down and we're going to combine like terms. So 3x plus negative 4x gets you a negative 1x. 2y plus 5y equals 7y. And then 12 plus 10 equals 22. So nothing happened there. Nothing got eliminated. When you eliminate, you either are getting rid of your x or you're getting rid of your y. Nothing happened here. So let's look at the second one. So I have, when I try to add down, I would get a 10x. If I added down here, I would get a 2y. And if I added down here, I would get a 12. So I did not eliminate, but if you focus in on the x's, I got really, really close. Instead of adding, let's see, I really don't want to subtract, but if I were to multiply one of the equations by negative 1 all the way through, then I would get a negative 5. That would turn into a plus 4, and that would turn into a negative 10. So when you add down, you have negative 5x plus 5x, which is 0x. Add down and you get 10y, and add down you get negative 8. So with this, we have eliminated the x variable, and we get 10y equals negative 8. And then we can just divide and we can solve, and that would be like negative 4/5. So when you eliminate, notice I had a negative 5 and a positive 5. These are called opposites. So the first name of the game is you want to find opposites, and then the second one is you always add down. And I guess there is a definite pre-step that I forgot. You want to have your x, your y, and your number all perfectly lined up. You want to have them aligned. Notice that I had my x's stacked on top of each other, my y's, my equal sign, and my numbers. If they are lined up like this, you may need to move it all around. Alright, so let's do today's notes. So it doesn't matter if you get rid of your x's or you get rid of your y's. One or the other, it doesn't matter. So they're all aligned. That's a good thing. Do you have opposites set up? Well, yeah, I do right there. Negative 6 and positive 6 are opposites. So once you have opposites, then we're going to add down. So 5x plus 3x is 8x. You cancel each other out, you add up to 0y. And when I add down there, I get 16. Divide by 8. And x equals 2. And now we're going to substitute, and we're going to solve for y, or whatever your other variable happens to be. Doesn't matter which one you choose, whatever you think would be easiest. I'm going to use 3x plus 6y equals 48 this time. So I know that x equals 2, so I'm going to sub 2 in for x. multiply, solve for y. So I'm going to have to subtract 6 over to the other side. That gets me 42. And you divide, y equals 7. Your solution always needs to be written as an ordered pair, x comma y. So the answer is 2 comma 7. The nice thing about this section is you can double check your work. So if we were to double check the top one, plug the 2 in for the x, minus 6 times 7 for the y equals negative 32. 10 minus 42 equals negative 32. That's a true statement, and I basically just already checked the other one when I solved for y, so I know that I'm good on that one. Alright, so this next one. I don't have any opposites yet. 7 and 2. So when you don't have opposites, what I do is when I'm comparing my coefficients, I look and see if one is a multiple of another. So I know that 5 is a factor of 15. And so if I were to take this second equation, and if I were to multiply that by 3, I would get a negative 15. So when I'm comparing my coefficients on my variables, I look and see if one is a multiple of another. Show me what you're going to multiply by. So the first one you're going to rewrite. The second one you're going to have to distribute that 3 to all 3 terms. So I get a 21x minus 15y equals 51. Once you have opposites, now you add down. Negative 2 plus 21 equals 19x. 15 plus negative 15 equals 0. Good, they were eliminated. Negative 32 plus 51 equals 19. Divide by 19, and x equals 1. Plug 1 in for x into either equation. I'm going to use the bottom one just because that one is more convenient right now. So 7 times 1 is 7. Solve for y, so subtract your 7 over to the other side. That gives me 10. Divide both sides by negative 5 to get rid of your coefficient. And 10 divided by negative 5 equals negative 2. So it looks like my answer should be 1, negative 2. We should plug it into that top one and double check ourselves. So negative 2 times 1 plus 15 times negative 2 equals negative 32. Negative 2, that gives me negative 30 equals negative 32. That's a true statement, and I'm all good. And this last one. Alright, so I have a 3 and a 4, and I have a 2 and a 3. I'm going to have to either eliminate my x's or I'm going to have to eliminate my y's. So it's the least common multiple, I believe is the technical term. So basically, I look at my coefficients. If you count up by 3's, and if you count up by 4's, what's the first number you would come to? 12. So you could eliminate your x's if you want to. You could eliminate your y's if you want to. I'm going to eliminate the y's, mainly because when I look at these, I try to use the smallest numbers possible. So when I count up by 2 and out by 3, I would get a 6. So I'm going to have to multiply the top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 2. So when I do that, I'm going to have a 6y and a 6y. They're going to be the same, but I need opposites. So one of them is going to have to be negative. I'm going to put the negative on the 2. It doesn't matter which one you would have chosen. You get the same answer either way. So I'm going to distribute the 3 all the way through and get 12x plus 6y equals 24. Distribute the negative 2 all the way through. Negative 6x minus 6y equals negative 18. Alright, I have opposites. Once you have opposites, now you're allowed to add down, which is just simply combining like terms. So 12 plus negative 6 is 6x. That adds up to 0. You're gone. And that adds up to 6. We're going to divide both sides by 6, and x equals 1. Pick one of the equations. 4x plus 2y equals 8 is the one that I'm going to pick. Plug 1 in for x. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract the 4 over. Divide. And y equals 2. So the solution to this system of equations is 1, 2. This is an ordered pair. It always has to be in x, y format. We're going to stop it there and do word problems in a minute.